You're listening to Engage Williston, a Williston Area Chamber of Commerce podcast, brought to you by the Leadership Williston Class of 2025. Your hosts are Diane Schmidt, Megan Liss, and Carmen Delaney.
Engage Williston is brought to you by Western Cooperative Credit Union. You can visit their website at WCCU.org. Join the herd. Hello and welcome to another edition of Engage Williston. My host with me today is Carmen. Meg is out.
Hello.
And our very special guest, I'm excited to announce, is Justin Maddison.
Hi.
How are you?
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Good. So Justin works at Western Cooperative Credit Union. And can you tell everyone what your official title is?
President and CEO.
Does that sound weird to say out
A
loud?
little bit. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it.
You've been in that position now for a little while now, almost 2 years?
Just about 2 years, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy? And it's nervous to say president and CEO.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very important. And we're excited that you're here. We're going to find out some more about you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. How far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you feel comfortable sharing with us.
Right.
Okay. I'm originally from a little town out in southwest Montana. Name of the town is Alder. Very small, very remote. It's out in the mountains. Went to high school in Sheridan, Montana, not Wyoming, Montana, which is also a very small town. It's Class C school, so real small. Played sports in high school and wanted to move on and play football in college. And had some recruitment opportunities from some smaller schools out there, but also from Dickinson State University. And Dickinson State, Hank Bijou was the coach. If anybody who knows anything about Dickinson State football, he is a legend, a Hall of Famer. And so when I was deciding on school, I wanted to go play for the legend Hank Bijou.
Nice.
And
That's so cool.
So
What position was that you played?
I played tight end.
Okay.
I played 4 years at Dickinson State, started 2 of them at tight end. And when I was at DSU, I met Patricia Ryder, now Patricia Maddison, who is from Freud, Montana. And Freud, if anybody knows, is just right across the border here, very close to Williston.
So you guys were growing up on opposite sides of the states,
Yeah,
basically. Wow.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we met at DSU, fell in love, got married. We moved out to Western Montana for a little bit. She finished up college at University of Montana Western, got her teaching degree. While she was doing that, I was doing a master's degree in business administration at the University of Montana. So finished that, and then we wanted to move closer to her family, and started looking for jobs around the area. And First National Bank, which is First State Bank now, but First National Bank at the time, was hiring for a consumer loan officer, and I applied for it and got the job, and did that for several years. And then at some point, I got reached out to by the college, who was looking for their VP of Business Services, basically the VP that would run the accounting department for the college. I was interested in that. They offered me the job, and I took it. Got into that as about a couple years in. Wasn't really for me. Kind of felt like I wanted to get back into banking, and Western Cooperative Credit Union was looking for a CFO, which is kind of what I was doing at the college.
Mm-hmm.
And so applied for that, interviewed with Melanie Stillwell, and they offered me the job.
That's awesome.
That was in 2011, so I did that for 13 years, I believe, until Melanie retired, and then applied for and was hired to replace Melanie. So that's about it.
That's cool. Brings us up to speed. And so what was kind of the biggest draw? So Williston was geographically close to your wife's parents. Was there anything else that brought you specifically to Williston?
I wanted a job in banking.
Yeah.
And I had been working. I started as a teller. So my first job right out of college was a teller, and I did that for about a year. And then I did it part-time while I was doing the master's degree program in Missoula. So knew I wanted to be in banking, wanted to be a loan officer, and just happened to be that First National Bank was hiring right at the time I was looking, so it worked out.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, yeah. I feel like this is the first, because we hear lots of Williston stories of people come here for oil field or family and stuff, and just genuine opportunity is one that we don't hear as often, which is really awesome. So I love that. Yeah. I'm glad you're here.
And so outside of your role, what are some of the things you do outside in the community? Because there is a lot that you do.
I've been really involved in youth sports since my kids were very small. Going back to when they were first graders, or even before that, kindergartners, helping coach t-ball, helping coach flag football. And I just kind of stuck with that and followed them. So from flag football to, the tackle football, the 5th and 6th grade tackle football, and then 7th and 8th grade. And so I've been helping coach with football here for the junior high for a few years now.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to kind of grow up in that. Like football was really big in your career now, or when you were younger, and now you're helping your boys along the way.
Right.
But most parents are like, yeah, I want to help out, but they really don't. You've really stuck to it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's enjoyable. You get to know the kids. Football's nice because a lot of the different sports kids come together, like the hockey players and say the basketball players, who aren't on the same team when they're in their other sports, but football brings them together. So you get to know more of the kids. Yeah. And that makes it fun.
That's cool. Do you draw any inspiration for your coaching from your mentor over at Dickinson State?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. Pretty much all of it.
Yeah, because even though it's different levels of playing, I'm sure there's still, tenets of coaching that still apply.
Right. Yeah, no matter how old the kids are you're coaching, it goes back to fundamentals, and so you gotta coach that at an early level, but you gotta coach it all the way through. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's nice watching the little kids as they grow up and progress and build that confidence in themselves and grow into strong and young men.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see that progression.
Yeah, and we've been fortunate in the junior high level to be very successful. Coach Jeff Winslow, he was the head coach. I think a lot of people know Jeff in town. And he's absolutely excellent head coach in that junior high level. So being able to coach with him, Cal Noss and Will Hall also were on that coaching staff, which was another two amazing coaches. So it's been fun for a couple of years now.
That's awesome. Is that, so there's at the middle school level, and then the younger levels, is that through like intramural with the program?
5th and 6th grade is through the ARC.
Oh, okay.
So the ARC runs it, yeah.
That's awesome. How can people, do they just kind of register on the ARC website to be involved?
Yep. Yeah, cool. I think they usually have registration in the late summer for football, and it's 5th and 6th grade combined, so you will have fifth graders playing with 6th graders, but they're usually pretty closely matched.
Okay.
That's usually when tackle football starts.
Right.
Yep.
I'll have to let my brother know when his boys get old enough. Right now they're in wrestling, and so that's been really exciting for them. They got wrestling shoes for like Christmas, and yeah.
Well, they start with flag football and then go up into contact, so.
Yeah, I bet he'll want to get them signed up for that soon. They're in soccer and wrestling, so I'm sure they're going to run the gambit of all the sports.
Yeah.
Wrestlers usually make pretty good football players.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, take from all of the different moves on the mat to tackling, and
exactly.
Yeah.
That flexibility, get low.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's good to know.
Is there anything else you do in the community? Are you on any boards or anything like that?
Excuse me. I'm not currently. I have been in the past. I was on the Williston Regional Economic Development Corporation board, and was the past president of that. I was president of that for I think a year and a half, but termed out. Used to be on the Salvation Army board. Termed out of that one too. So right now, no, I'm not on any volunteer boards. So.
But you still help out in the community just in different ways. Through coaching, you're still making an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other boards that we can get you involved in. So.
Yeah.
Or our listeners.
Carmen's always recruiting, trying to recruit people. So
I had light bulbs go off immediately.
you're like, ding, ding, ding. I got all these boards I can suggest for you,
Yeah,
Justin.
we'll talk after this.
I used to help out a lot with St. Joe's Mardi Gras too when my kids were going to school there. But now they're high school and junior high age, and they both play basketball. And so this time of year, so busy.
Yeah.
With traveling to sports events and stuff.
Yeah, we've just traveled to Minot on Friday. We got a game here on tonight, and then go to Dickinson tomorrow, and then I think we're home on Friday. So,
Wow, it's a lot of travel.
We're driving around all around the state. Bismarck, I think 5 different times for the 4 Bismarck schools plus Mandan. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That is the tricky thing about Western North Dakota, isn't it? Like sports, you really have to kind of go out to other communities. Like I saw a Bismarck bus filling up on gas. And I was like, well, there must have been a game in town that we were home.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's a lot of driving. And it's, I mean, just we're recording in January. It's a tough time to drive.
yeah,
Yes,
it can be. Yeah,
It can be.
Yeah, that's cool. So what is kind of like your day-to-day look like at WCCU? Just going back to that.
Oh, I suppose it depends on the day.
Yeah.
But, usually come in the morning, and a lot of times I'll just run reports that I look at to, look at just performance type reports, stay on top of that kind of stuff. Towards the middle of the month, we start preparing for the board meeting, as well as we have to close out our general ledger every month. So kind of do a month-end close, and then we put together board packets, get ready for the board meeting. Of course, then we have the board meeting, and, anytime the board has something we want to follow up on, obviously, I make sure that's taken care of. Other than that, it's just a lot of meetings with other managers and making decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sounds a lot like
I think he's being a little modest. He's there.
I know,
He's there
right?
like super early. I one time was trying to do something to surprise him, and he was already there before 7:30 in the morning. So he is. You are there super early, like one of the first people there. Are you not?
I try to be, except recently now I've dropped my youngest off at junior high, so
And drop
I
off.
gotta drop him off first, and so it's during the summer when I don't have that drop off. I'll be
Right.
Yeah, he's there
Yep.
There we
early,
go.
super early.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But I think one thing that sets Justin apart from other maybe CEOs in different organizations is he's very approachable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can go in at any time and be like, hey, Justin, I've got XYZ going on. And he, stops, looks, pays attention, is not distracted. So I kind of feel like what I have to say matters and is valued. And so I appreciate
so
that.
important.
Not everyone has that. And so
a
that's
leadership
really nice to
style.
have.
Yeah, that's like, it's a leadership style that really, it offers when you have that open door policy, when you can be open with, everyone that you work with. That's so important, so valuable, and probably harkens back to your coaching style too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why do you think it's important to have that kind of a leadership style?
Well, when you have good people in a role like Diane, you really just need to empower them to do their job really well, and get out of the way unless they need your help. And we're fortunate to have an outstanding management team at Western Cooperative Credit Union, and just a group of people who we all seem to be focused on the same goals, and everybody's out to get their job done. So, and that's great to have.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking like different things to bring to not only the staff, but to members as well. So I think that's one thing that's really nice is, Justin asks, hey, what do you guys think? And even entry-level tellers who haven't been at the organization very long have an opportunity to express that to him, which is nice because he and the CFO, James Moe, when staff starts, they have a meet and greet lunch.
Oh, okay.
And so they take the two. There's typically two, and it could be two from the teller line or from other departments. But they take the time to get to know that new staff, and not every organization does that.
No, I was gonna say that sounds really like a nice way to show that we really care that you're a person.
Yeah.
You work here. You're not just a number to
Right.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. Those are you do get to know your newer employees. It's over an hour. We always go to the Williston Brewery.
Yes.
We're not able to drink. Just wanted to lay me back there. No.
Do you at least get the giant pretzel with the cheese?
Oh, depending.
Oh,
If that's what you want to eat, you
so
can have
good.
it.
Yeah.
That was Crystal Dahl. That was her idea several years ago. I think you guys had Crystal on the podcast.
Yep, we did.
Yeah.
So that was her idea. She's our human resources gal. So she had a good idea, and it's been really good for the last few years.
Yeah, it's been really nice. A lot of staff are like, "What do I say?" And I'm like, "You can say whatever you want." It's they're taking the time to get to know you as a person, and not every organization does that. And so, tell them what you want to do. And one employee was like, "I'm going to tell Justin I want to know what I need to do to get his job." I was like, "Well, that's good, because that's a good opportunity to find out." So, kind of segues into, what advice would you have for those kids out there, the people who are listening? What do they need to do to find themselves in your role?
Dependability, I think, is huge. As managers, we have staff that some are extremely dependable, and others can be challenging with how dependable they are. It's a pet peeve, I think, for most managers, when they can't rely on somebody. And so just being dependable and reliable, going to work, doing your job, working hard, making yourself known as somebody who's very dependable and reliable and who gets the job done, that goes a long way with, I think, any manager out there. So.
And what about the balance for those parents who are like, all I do is work. I still want to help out with my kids. What sort of advice would you give them to kind of balance that?
Oh, well, I think work-life balance is extremely important. You can't dedicate your entire life to your job and not to your family or, other things that you care about. So you do have to strike that balance. And I feel fortunate that we work in the industry that we work in, because banking, there's not a lot that has to take place outside of normal office hours. Obviously, there's things that as managers we get called in for when we're not expecting it. But for the most part, it's 8 to 5 and Monday through Friday. So
You're not getting that 2 a.m. phone call to come in
Right.
to work on some report or something. So
That would be an interesting emergency to have. I feel silly asking this question, but what is the difference between a credit union and a bank?
Oh, good question. Credit unions are not-for-profit financial institutions.
Okay.
So we're tax exempt because of our not-for-profit status. So as a credit union, we price our loans as low as possible, and we price our deposits as high as possible. And banks do the same thing. But as credit unions, we can usually beat a bank with rates because we're not in business to make a profit.
Right. Just as the ethos of the foundation is well, we can offer maybe this interest rate because we're not.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you have members rather than customers.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
So
kind of
to
that
be
ethos.
a member of Western Cooperative, just in the Williston area, you have to live within a 75-mile radius of Williston. Of course, we've got other branches in Ray, Tioga, Dickinson, Beach, and Hebron, and we have a radius from each of those locations as well. But if you live within a 75-mile radius of Williston, or if you have a family member that is already a member, you can become a member.
Okay.
my mom who lives in Idaho, because I am a member, she can become a member. She can use my field of membership to get an account.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure of the differences. So that's cool. So not only you're not, so you're non-for-profit and you service locally. So your members are Williston residents and the surrounding areas.
Correct.
That's cool. And so the Ray and Tioga and other branches as well.
Yeah,
It's all
their
about the
mile
local.
radius is a little different, but
Right.
there is a stipulation to that.
Yeah.
But Western Cooperative does give a lot into the community.
Yeah.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of those that?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's part of our mission. It's written right into the mission statement that we're going to give back to our communities, and so we take it very seriously, and we do that in every community that we are in. Recently, the board has made some very generous decisions. You may have seen the donation that the credit union made to the new what is it? I want to say nursing wing, but the healthcare training facility
Yeah.
Yes.
at Wilson State College. Yeah. So we donated $500,000 to that because, well, our board is progressive, and they see if they see a need in the community, they're pretty quick to respond, and there's no greater need, in my opinion, in any rural community than healthcare. So,
Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because not only does that help the campus to bring in more nursing students and all their other programs that they have going on, which are really cool, just to hear all of the laundry list of degrees and certifications that people are going to get out of that. But then it helps grow the economy of Williston. It helps people move here. And then, of course, then you get more members because more people are living here. So
right.
Yep.
Yep.
it's good to look at, if we're investing in this community, it's going to help us as well. So it's good to kind of have that ethos. I love that.
Yep.
What were some of the other ones? And they did some other ones too that were.
Yeah, we did, I think, $75,000 for the softball complex over there at the college. We did, oh man, I'm going to get numbers wrong. The new Spring Lake Park
The nature center?
nature center that they're building. I believe we did $100,000 for that. I think we were their first pledge donation, so kind of want to start the ball rolling on that. Hopefully they can get a lot more because it looks like a pretty neat project. And then we do stuff in Dickinson too, and in our other communities. The softball facility down at Dickinson State, we helped did some money for that. I can't remember how much. I want to say $75,000 for that one too.
That's awesome.
And they helped with the local Babe Ruth team a few years ago, right?
Yep, yeah, and we're gonna help for the next one, the 2027 Babe Ruth World Series.
Yeah.
The board's voted to give $10,000 for that. So
So not only like big organizations, even some of the smaller ones there.
And I was going to say,
It's crazy,
You've
like-
helped the chamber. I think you've helped Harmonic Creative World as well, which is a music nonprofit I'm a part of. Yeah, lots of good in the community.
yeah, we try to stay active.
Yeah, and some of it kind of goes without saying that they're doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Just a donation. Here you go. This is we
Yeah.
believe in you and what you're doing for our community.
Yeah, Sarah Johnson does a good job. She's our marketing director. She actually used to be at the chamber.
Yeah.
She came over to us from the chamber, but
Yeah. WCCU is what helped fund the podcast equipment
That's
as well.
right. Yep.
sure,
Yep.
yep.
I know Sarah's a great friend. She's really sweet. And like Crystal's been on our board. So like WCC has been very involved in the chamber, which is really amazing. Yeah.
So what sort of exciting things are you looking forward to that WCC is going to do for 2026? Do you have ideas or things you're working towards, things you'd like to see? Or is it all surprise?
I look forward to the continued success because the credit union has been very successful, really for forever. But in the last 10 years or so, we've been very successful. Had some tough years during the pandemic, where things were a little tighter, but since then we've been doing really well. Just want to continue that. And, our goal is always growth. We want to bring members in. We want to show people the difference between what we do and what banks do, which is very similar, but we feel like we do it better.
Yeah. Well, and there's some things that we do tailored towards the younger kids. We have the kids See You Succeed accounts that the age limit. So if they want to go get a car and they have a See You Succeed, they get a percentage decrease on their loan. So if they're for the life of their loan, so if their interest rate was at a 6 because they have a See You Succeed share, now it's at a 5. So there's some things that we do for our kids.
Yeah, we just recently kind of rolled out our Get Paid for Good Grades promotion, and so
that's so sweet. What is that?
So any kid who's on the A or B honor roll from 7th grade all the way through high school can just bring in their honor roll, show it to us, and we'll give them $25 a quarter, so $100 a year.
I'm going to have to tell my nephews that once they get into middle school and high school, see, good grades will pay off.
Yeah.
Well, see, in the high school here does it by semester grade. So they're going to get 50 at a time because it's 2 quarters.
Correct.
That's awesome. That's just a really, really clever way to invest in our youth, especially. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know that everyone knows that. So, it's a good way to showcase that. We do give good grades. We also do a star student where they can, make I don't want to say recommendation, but
it's an award.
The award that's given.
Give on our,
They get scholarships.
Scholarships, correct.
There's just all sorts of things that, and then when you open a Peewee account, they're usually given a bison or a penguin, depending upon what we have.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. What's like the age base for opening up a Peewee account?
You can open up as early as like a day old. You just need your birth certificates, social security card, and proof of residency. But for a child, you're going to use your parents, so we can use that.
Right. That's so cool.
I know. It's weird because before starting at Western Cooperative, I didn't realize having kids' accounts were a thing. No.
I know. My nephew's got some Christmas checks from Santa, which was so nice of Santa. And so my brother was like, "Oh, we got to get them signed up for an account." I'm like, that's a really smart idea.
Yeah, it's really nice. Because then they accrue interest, and the board approved of increasing the interest rate for the Peewee accounts.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell them to open up a Western Cooperative Credit Union account for them. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I think Western Cooperative does that really isn't talked about, so it's kind of nice to kind of showcase them and you.
Yeah. It's hard to get the word out. People don't switch banks often.
No,
they don't. It's harder to do. So, kind of want to, if you can get them when they're young, then hopefully you can keep them. But we've got some really good products that we've had for years, and they're not necessarily well known in the community, but we call our checking Kasasa checking, which is a rewards checking. It's just based on number of times you swipe your debit card. So if you swipe your debit card 12 times in a month, and you have electronic statements, and you
check your account,
check your online account at least once a month, then you qualify for the rewards. The rewards are they're 4.5% on our Kasasa Cash, which is a really nice interest rate on a checking account.
Yep.
And then we have a cash back where it's more designed for the younger people, where it's kind of like just a cash back, like a Discover card cash back. It's not based on interest rates. So.
That's really cool. Yeah. I'm learning a lot that I didn't know about WCCU. So very cool.
Well, then we have our savings accounts. We got our First Freedom accounts, our money market accounts, right. CDs that we offer.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I didn't know until I started working.
Well, because, you can only fit so much on an information pamphlet that you're handing off to somebody. And when you do have so many services and products, like you can only go over so much with someone before someone's like, all right, that's too much information. Just sign me up for an account. So it's good to get the word out and to have the conversations and revisit so people just are aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as the CFO, you did a lot of investing for the credit union, correct?
Correct.
What sort of advice would you give to people like Carmen and I that want to invest? Like what are some lessons that you've learned that you can share?
Well, the type of investing that we do as an institution is a little different than what can be done as a individual.
Sure.
We're pretty restricted by NCUA as to what we can invest in. So all of our investments are in government-backed agencies like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Federal Home Loan Bank. So we invest in bonds basically, or mortgage-backed securities. Stuff that is pretty plain Jane from an investment standpoint. Mm-hmm. But I guess advice that I would give was just work with a professional, and the professionals they know what they're doing, and we work with a professional at the credit union. It's not just James and I making decisions where
you guys aren't using a dartboard and be like, let's go there.
We manage it very closely and watch it very closely. So, but yeah, you need the help of an investment professional.
Yeah, don't go for all the risky.
No.
I know some of it I don't understand, so I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want to have a portfolio of just But yeah, maybe then that advice is just be cautious when go work for the professional, but have a good mix of bonds and things.
A diverse portfolio. Yeah.
Maybe some things that aren't super exciting and flashy, but are going to have a steady return.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
They say if you don't understand a product, don't invest in it. So.
For sure.
That's why I let my husband do it all. He takes care of that. I'm like, you do it.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with us that you're looking forward to, or in your life, or things you want to accomplish?
No, not really, I guess.
You're happy where you are. You've got 2.5 years and you're getting nice and settled.
Just want to.
He's going to retire from WCCU, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. That's what I said.
The future is bright. It's a long, steady road ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice because everyone who works there, I think we counted one time, there might be five people that didn't start off at a financial institution as a teller. So everyone else has worked as a teller and worked their way up.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that Western Cooperative is really big on, is promoting from within and building staff. And I don't know that every organization has that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. We feel like it's important to give staff opportunities to move up. Mm-hmm. And, most people don't become a teller, and want to be able to work their whole career as a teller and retire as a teller. It's it's an entry-level position. And so it turns over, but oftentimes the turnover happens somewhere else in the credit union, and then somebody who's lower down gets an opportunity.
Right.
So
any young listeners?
Yeah, we've had, I think in the last year, 4 to 6 people move internally.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Including Diane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a lot of opportunity, a lot of positive change, I think, that's happened since Justin's taken over and CEO. Not that before was bad, it's just different. We've got a different group coming in of staff, different personal responsibilities are changed with the staff that are coming up. Not everyone has kids, not everyone has a family. So kind of just balancing all that out with everyone.
Yeah. Oh, well, I love that. Yeah. So
you could come work for us too, Carmen.
I'm going to be the only one at the chamber, so they'd be pretty disappointed.
I'm just kidding.
If I left.
I know. You're always trying to get me to come. I thought it was only fair with Justin here.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Give that same opportunity.
Good job, Diane.
Because she did that when Brickell was here. Come, you could join us too, Diane.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's only fair.
That's right. I know we can't quite offer the same pay and benefits as a bank and a cooperative union, but yeah. I have a lot of friends in banking that'll be like, hey.
Well, it's just different. I mean, everyone, how they do business. It's interesting to see the dynamic of our members of our staff.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice vibe. Anytime I go into the main WCCU branch, anytime I see you at the downtown branch saying hi to me across the street, it seems like a really great working environment.
Yeah, so Carmen has her studio across the street from the branch's drive up. So every time I see her, I yell at her through the mic, "I can see you, Carmen. Hello." And she's always like looking around. It's kind of funny. And then she realized it was me. And now every time everyone does it and waves at her, "There's Carmen."
Yeah.
Seems funny.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
But do you want to ask the question?
Yes. So we like to end off our podcast with kind of like a fun question. I know we alluded to it at the beginning when we were just kind of setting up. So we don't have our access to our list of questions, but a previous podcast guest said that one of their camp icebreaker questions is, if you could dispense any flavor of drink from each of your 5 fingers, like an unlimited supply, this is my Coke tap, this is my Sprite tap, whatever, what would your 5 fingers dispense for you? It doesn't have to be soda. It could be anything.
Anything, huh? Well, that's a good question.
It's an interesting one.
It is.
Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say, and Diane would probably call me out on it, if I didn't say bourbon of some kind.
I was going to say red wine would be like my first.
So, yeah, bourbon probably would be number 1. And then, I don't know, I like A&W root beer, Fanta orange, just regular Coke. Yeah.
Coffee.
Is that 5? Coffee.
I was going to say, one's got to give like your caffeine. Yeah.
Coffee, yeah.
Coffee.
That would be the most painful one to dispense,
Yeah.
like your pinky coffee coming out.
So yeah, it'd be bourbon first and then coffee, and then I suppose the others.
There you go. Bourbon and coffee, number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
I love that. Maybe a little creamer. No, or you're not a creamer guy. You're
No,
black coffee.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I guess just one more bonus question. Do you have like a favorite coffee spot in town?
Mega latte.
Oh, Mega Latte is
Mega
great.
latte is good.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask, what, do you have a favorite employee?
Do you have a favorite employee? No pressure.
I'm right here. No.
I
He
love all
treats
my
us all.
employees,
He's very, very approachable, very professional. And
Yeah.
even if
I have
he did like me the most, he wouldn't say it out loud. So
Right.
I do have a picture of Diane on Melissa's back in my office.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yes. So
That's a story,
Melissa
yeah.
and I, for Boss's Day, we did some funny like JC Penney poses.
That's right.
And we made a frame. My husband made a frame, and on it says "Teamwork makes the dream work." Right. And so we gave it to him, and I was like, "Oh, he's probably just going to put it." No, it is sitting on his desk. He proudly displays it.
That
So
sounds like it needs to be one
it
of
needs
those
to be
motivational
updated.
posters that is blown up and put in every like staff.
well, and the best part about it is we waited till he was gone for the day and took the photos in his office.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So we'll probably have to update the photos. It's been a few years, so we'll have to update them.
So every once in a while, I'll come into my office and there'll be something. I don't know, just kind of have to shake my head. Oh, Diane again.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I
Keeps
made-
it interesting.
I made some tattoos,
Oh, that's right.
Like temporary tattoos for.
some temporary tattoos.
Yeah, with my face on it.
That,
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
it was fun. It was super fun. Everyone enjoyed it. I asked Justin first. I made him first, and then I was like, "Are you okay if I hand these out?" But I don't know. He's a good sport.
Yeah.
I love
Try to be a good
that.
sport.
What a great testament to your leadership that your staff wants to have temporary tattoos of your face, like right
Right.
Yeah.
on their shoulder or something. That's amazing.
If I find one, Carmen, I'll bring one to you.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming to our podcast this morning. It was fun, right?
It was fun. Yeah, it actually flew by. I was
Yeah, as you're
looking at
watching the time, you're like, "Whoa, we've talked that long." See, it just kind of flies by.
Yeah. It's a little nerve-wracking just to like get Get
started.
into something
Yeah.
new that you haven't done before.
Right.
It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Neat idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate you taking the time to come and chat with
Yeah,
us.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. And to our listeners, we'll catch you next time with our next guest. Have a good one.